Hey guys, today I want to show you a unique little pistol that I bought a while back. This is actually my first ever pistol. This is a Hungarian FEG PA-63. As I mentioned, this was the first pistol I ever bought. I bought it used, and it's chambered in 9mm Makarov. Some people call it Makarov, or you might see it called 9mm Mac. But I believe the correct pronunciation is Makarov. It's a little bit, the diameter is a little bit larger than a 9mm Luger. The bullet size is just a touch larger, but it's pretty much comparable to the 380 Auto. These are some reloads with just some cast lead bullets. I think these are berries, and if you'll notice, a lot of these casings are 9mm Luger. So when I bought this gun, I started hand loading for it immediately. Just because I thought it was kind of cool, kind of novel. But you can take a 9mm, a standard 9x19 or 9mm Luger casing, and you can trim it down, trim the length down to fit the Makarov, and then when you bell it out to take the bullet, it actually kind of it has a little bump in the sidewall, because whereas the Makarov is a straight wall pistol case, the 9mm Luger actually has a bit of a taper on the sidewall. So the first time you load them, they look a little odd, and then they fire form the first time you shoot them, and then you can reuse them. But I probably wouldn't, if I was going to buy this again, I wouldn't go out and hand load for it. You can buy cheap Wolf or Barnaul, or a lot of the different steel case stuff you can buy for this particular gun. If you want a cheap plinker, that's what most people buy these for. I think I probably overpaid when I bought it. I think I paid $200 for it, but I don't know if they're out there anymore in this good a condition. But if you look around, you can find them used or surplus or whatever. It's actually a straight blowback gun. It's not, so it's a fixed barrel. It's a fixed barrel, straight blowback. It's got some pretty decent recoil, because like I said, it's comparable to the 380, but it's a little bit stouter than that. So it's probably as much as you'd want to do in a straight blowback gun, if not a little more. One thing I actually did do is I changed out the grip panels on it. The factory grip panels on the right-hand side of the gun. Let's see. Nope. On the left-hand side of the gun, they had a little hump here, I guess to make it more ergonomic for a right-handed shooter to have a little shelf for their thumb. Me being left-handed, that wasn't very comfortable, so I found these grips. They actually say FEG, and they're wood. They're like stained wood. They're not the most durable things ever, but I needed something a little more comfortable than that hump that was on it to begin with, so I went with that. It's a double action, single action, with a safety on the left-hand side of the gun for right-handed only use. But honestly, if I was going to carry this gun loaded, I would run it without the safety, being a left-handed shooter, because the trigger pull, if you can see, is pretty stiff. I don't have a trigger gauge, but that double action pull is really stiff. Actually, the single action pull is pretty nice and light. Has a pretty short reset. It's not a bad single action trigger, but the double action is real heavy. There's actually, you can buy Wolf gun springs. You can buy a kit that gives you actually a really nice double action trigger pull. But the problem with that is with the reduced power springs that they use, if you're shooting the steel case wolf or barnaul or whatever, you have a pretty good chance of getting some light primer strikes. I actually bought the kit and I experienced those myself, so I went back to the original springs just because this is kind of a plinker. It's a little safe queen kind of little, I bring it out every once in a while and shoot it. I don't shoot it that much, so I just put it back in the original factory configuration. Let's see, what else? The sights on it, pretty minimal. The front is actually milled into the side, so you can't change them out unless you took them and had a dovetail cut. The rear, I guess, is drift adjustable for windage. I've never messed with it. Being a fixed barrel gun, it's actually really accurate. But I mentioned the grips that I changed out because I'm a lefty. One of the problems with this gun is that being a straight blowback, the spring rides on the barrel itself, or the recoil spring rides on the barrel itself, which means you get a really low bore axis, which is great unless you're left-handed and you've got a proper grip on a modern pistol, and then your finger, your thumb, your offside thumb covers the ejection port. So usually I'm either causing it to malfunction by hitting cases and making them pop back into the chamber, or I have to modify my grip and keep my thumb down when I shoot. So it's not the most enjoyable gun to shoot. I don't shoot it that often, but I think it is a neat little pistol. I'll probably hang on to it just because. I don't know that I'll ever reload for it again. If I want to buy some ammo for it, I'll just buy the cheap steel case stuff for it. There is actually a Fiocchi makes these brass cased this brass cased ammo for it. It's good ammunition. Hornady makes a hollow point for it, and I believe they also make a self-defense round that you can buy specifically for it. I've loaded some of the older style Hornady hollow points that had a big old hollow point, and this doesn't feed hollow points very well. So those I never carried those just because they don't feed very well. But you can buy, I think you can buy the critical defense line now that has kind of the truncated cone, and those I imagine feed just fine. Anyway, we'll go out on the range and shoot a little bit, plink around with it. It's a pretty fun little gun. All right, guys, we're out on the range here with the PA-63. Gonna do a little bit of shooting. I only have 2 magazines for it. The gun only came with 1 when I bought it, and then I picked up this extra magazine online. You can see the extra magazine has this anodized black floor plate, whereas the original one has this just bare aluminum floor plate. But I'm going to be shooting some of these lead 95 grain cast reloads, and then I've got also some of these Hornady hollow points. I'll try to shoot a few of these. As I mentioned, they don't really feed very well, but we'll shoot a couple and just see how it goes. So that's my fault. That's my thumb getting in the way. I always forget that I have to modify my grip when I go to shoot this gun. Okay, this is going to be a magazine of the hollow points. Fed them all. Okay, so we're going to finish it out here with one more magazine of hollow points, and then a last magazine here of the ball round. You probably noticed the magazines do not drop free, not even close actually. And in addition to that, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but there is no external slide release. So the only way to lock the slide back is to have an empty mag in the gun, and then to drop the slide, you have to run the slide either with a full magazine or without the magazine in it. The magazines have this little piece right here that protrudes, and I think that's what keeps them from dropping free. I say that even a full magazine won't drop free of the gun, so these are mags that you have to strip out, but this little tab ensures that they stick in the gun even when they're empty. So all right, that's it for the PA-63. As I said, with the fixed barrel, it's an accurate little gun, and it's actually probably more comfortable for me to shoot one-handed than it is two-handed because of me having to really aggressively tuck my thumb under. You can see those casings come out and just whack my thumb if I get it up too high. But anyway, thanks for watching.